Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got 4 replays in the American Tier 9 Tech Tree Heavy Tank, the M6Y. It's a bit funny that the M6Y is at Tier 9 and the M5Y is Tier 10. That just doesn't... that's weird. But hey, well, if you do like the video, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe down below, as it really does help out the channel. And yes, the M6Y, it is part of the brand new Yo American Heavy Tech Tree. And so far, it's a pretty damn fun tank. I say so far, I've completed it. It is a lot of fun as a Tier 9 heavy tank. I have really enjoyed myself with this vehicle, and that's because both guns, and yes, again, just like the Tier 8, there is no top gun on this tank. It is a choice between using the stock 105mm gun or the top 120mm gun. It's a pure choice because they're both very similar in terms of DPM. The 105mm gun is way better in terms of its accuracy and its consistency, but then the 120 is still pretty damn good at that anyway, and it has higher alpha, but the penetration is ever so slightly worse on that gun as well. So it's very enjoyable with both guns. When you're stock, you don't feel bad, you still feel really good because that stock gun is so nice. The shell velocity on it is also pretty damn good as well, and in total, I just really enjoyed this Tier 9 grind. It was a hell of a lot of fun, and I really hope that the Tier 10 isn't anticlimactic in the fact that I play the Tier 9, love the Tier 9, just like the French heavy tank line. I loved the MXM 451, and then I got to the 54 and was like, oh right, okay. It's just, yeah, it is what it is. So this tank I have thoroughly enjoyed. So this M6Y, while stock, which you're seeing in this replay, has a 40km/h top speed, with a 17km/h reverse speed, 690 horsepower engine, which is 15.33 horsepower per ton ratio, which means it's fairly mobile as a heavy tank, to be fair, and you will hit your top speed even with that power to weight. It's not that sluggish even when it's stock. You've got 28.34 degrees a second on the hull rotation speed, which is fairly decent. It's not fantastic, but it's fairly decent. 2.3 on soft, 1.29 on medium, and 1.2 on firm, while stock on these tracks is really not very good. So while you are stock, you might actually want to run off-road driving instead of clutch braking, but when you get the fully upgraded tracks, take off-road driving off and put clutch braking on, just because those terrain resistances aren't that good. 473 meters of view range on this tank while stock as well is not that good for a Tier 9 tank, but it's good enough that you can still spot for yourself. It's just, yeah, it's not the best view range in the universe. 38.92 degrees a second on the turret rotation speed is way faster than the tracks and is honestly beautiful for the M6Y. It helps you snap the gun on in target very, very quickly. The 0.65 accuracy during rotation and the 1.69 accuracy during movement are pretty nice as a pair, meaning the aim circle doesn't bloom out too bad at all, and you've got a 2.03 second aim time as well, means the tank does aim in pretty quickly, even if the aim circle does bloom out. A 0.3 accuracy at 100 meters as well is also fairly damn accurate, meaning this tank can aim in pretty quickly. It's never really having to aim in that much, and it's really accurate when it does fire. And then it's just got that super nice consistency to it, this 105mm gun, and that is something that is lovely about it. You've got 10 degrees of gun depression, which is extremely flexible on a ridgeline for the M6Y, which you've just been seeing us using here on Mali, and it means the tank is very, very flexible on a ridgeline, which is lovely. You've got a 5.83 second reload on this 105mm gun, which is 3.2, nearly 3.3k DPM, which is fantastic for a Tier 9 heavy tank, and it only gets better when you get fully upgraded. 260 pen on the standard AP rounds, because yes, it is AP, with 315 penetration on the premium heat rounds, and 53mm of penetration on the HE, for 320 alpha on the 2 standards, or the 2 normals, I should say, and 420 on the heat rounds. 1223 meters a second shell velocity on the standard AP is fantastic for an AP round, with 900 meters a second shell velocity on both the heat and the HE. It means they are slower than the standard AP, so you have to give a lot more lead when you do load those rounds, so do be careful of that. But the penetration on this 105mm gun is very, very good, which is why I say it is the choice, and your DPM is fantastic. And with the great gun handling as well, and the nice shell velocity, it's just a generally very, very good and very, very consistent gun for the tank, which is why I say it is a pure choice whether you want the more consistent gun or the gun that has higher alpha, similar DPM, but slightly more derpy in the fact it will derp shots a little bit more often. But it is a very nice tank to play even stock, as we finished with that 4,018 damage, 3,098 assistance damage with the 1442 base XP in that stock game there on Mali. So what do I run in terms of a crew and equipment to get those sorts of statistics on the old M6Y? Well, it does change up a little bit from the M3Y, and that is a run born leader, rapid reload, 6th sense, situational awareness, steady aim, run and gun, snapshot, rapid aim, clutch braking, with the advanced loader, the gun stabilizer, and optics. Optics, be able to get the 473 meters of view range, and that will push up as well when we get fully upgraded, with the gun stabilizer to get the best accuracy during movement and rotation that I can possibly get, so the aim circle doesn't bloom out. The advanced loader to get the best DPM I can out of this tank as well, since the DPM is fantastic. All 3 gun perks that go alongside the gun stabilizer, so that the gun is super consistent. Rapid aim to make the turret traverse better, like it is, and clutch braking to make the track traverse better, as the track traverse is a little bit poor if you don't help it. But like I say, when you're stock, you could run off-road driving instead, because the ground resistances aren't great. But when you do get fully upgraded, the ground resistances aren't too bad. They're still not great, but they're not as horrendous and don't hold the tank back as badly, so you could quite easily run the clutch braking instead of that. So now in this second replay, we are actually fully upgraded. I'm going to call it fully upgraded because we may still have the technical stock gun, but everything on the tank is upgraded except for the fact that we don't have the 120mm gun. But like I say, there's no real stock gun. It is a choice between which gun you really want to use. So we are, for all intents and purposes, fully upgraded. We've got the maximum we can get out of this gun now, and we are at maximum capacity. It just depends which gun you want to use, and it's your choice. So with it being fully upgraded, we've still got that 40 km an hour top speed and 17 km an hour reverse speed. 780 horsepower engine now, which is nearly 17 horsepower per ton ratio, which means we are very, very mobile and very easily get up to that 40 km an hour top speed. A 30.52 degrees a second on the hull rotation speed is a lot nicer than it was. 2.21 on soft, 1.2 on medium, and 1.1 on firm is still not great, realistically, but it is better than it was. And it means that it will hold the tank back a little bit, but honestly, having played it enough, you don't really feel it that much. You've got 499 meters of view range now, which is more like it for the M6Y, meaning you can spot for yourself very, very easily. 41.35 degrees a second on the turret rotation speed means it does turn faster than the tracks as well. Where did that shot go? Okay, game, sure. But yeah, 41.35 degrees a second on the turret traverse is very nice, way faster than the tracks, and is lovely to use. 0.52 accuracy during rotation now, with a 1.44 accuracy during movement is absolutely fantastic, and means that the aim circle just barely blooms out at all. And with a 1.84 second aim time, it doesn't take long to aim in, and again, it's a thing of beauty for the M6Y. 0.28 accuracy at 100 meters is also very, very accurate, meaning this gun will hit most of its shots depending on where you want it to hit it, unless you're trying to pixel shot a Jagdpanther 2, clearly. But there we go. 5.62 second reload on this gun is 3.4k DPM, which for a tier 9 heavy tank is absolutely lovely, and means that you can just shred and build up damage so fast, especially if people start to ignore you. It can be absolutely a thing of beauty for the vehicle. But the one thing to bear in mind when you get the M6Y fully upgraded, apart from the fact that it is proper ugly, is the fact that it does get uglier when you get this top turret. And as you can see, you've got a dual cupola on top of this turret, which means it's very easy at close range for a lot of people to just put shots into that cupola, even if you're hull down. So be careful of that with the M6Y, as that can be a pain. And to be honest, armor-wise, and the feel of it armor-wise, the stock turret is actually better. But the general gun handling, DPM, etc. view range is a lot better with this turret than it is the stock turret, which is why you want to be using this top turret. And naturally, you can't use the 120mm gun with the stock turret either. You have to use the top turret to get that gun, but there we go. So here in this second replay, we have managed to get 4,096 damage with 697 assistance damage here on Live Oaks. We won the town. We managed to win the train tracks as well. We're just going in to see if we can get the kill on this Jagdpanther 2, but he gets shut down by the T-57 Heavy. We see the Turan. We get a shot through the side of the Turan there. Going to RBRT, lock on, wait for the reload, and finish him off. And that's where having that quicker reload is definitely nice for the M6Y there on Live Oaks, as it helps you just reload that a little bit quicker, and having that fantastic DPM, 3.4k DPM is fantastic for a tier 9 heavy tank, and having that at 320 alpha is also quite nice, just how fast it fires. fires. But we're finished with the 1730 base XP with that 4.4k damage. It is... I can't understate how nice this tank has been, even when stock. And it really just has been an enjoyable experience for me. As long as people weren't finding those cupolas, it could be a very fun time. And the hull armour is one of those that, because of the angles and the shapes, it's super inconsistent to use. The hull armour isn't great, to be honest. But it's enough that you can just bounce shots. And you sit there going, well, okay, I bounced that somehow. Fine, I'll take it, you know? And with having that 30% faster track repair speed as well, compared to every other tech tree that this vehicle gets, which is why you don't need track mechanic, and having the higher track health, it also means it's a bit of a pain to actually get tracked, which means you don't get tracked as often, and when you do get tracked, it repairs quickly anyway, which is, yeah, lovely for the M6Y. But now we're fully upgraded. We've got that 120mm American-British gun here on the M6Y, which means we're now, I say fully upgraded, we're not really fully upgraded, we've got the second choice of gun, which is the 120mm American-British gun. So, we've now got a 0.69 accuracy during rotation, with a 1.52 accuracy during movement. That is still very, very good, and it means the aim circle doesn't bloom out that much on this gun, which means it's still very good gun handling. It's got 2.12 second aim time, which is slower than the 105mm gun, but again, you don't really feel it, because its accuracy during rotation and movement is already so good. It's usually fully aimed in anyway, so yeah, you don't really feel it too much. You've got a 0.3 accuracy at 100 meters as well, which again is still pretty accurate. Meaning that, again, you don't feel it be that derpy, which is nice. You've got a 7.44 second reload, which is 3.3, nearly 3.4k DPM. You lose about 50 to 60 DPM by picking the 120mm gun, which is basically, to be honest, nothing. And you gain alpha, because yeah, we've got that 0.3 accuracy at 100 meters, which is slightly worse. We've got that slightly worse accuracy during rotation and movement, slightly worse aim time, but generally it's still pretty good in that regard. 7.44 second reload for 420 alpha, nearly 3.4k DPM, is very nice for a tier 9 heavy tank and is very good for the M6Y. The thing that drops as well is the penetration, as we have 253 pen on the standard AP, and 310 pen on the premium heat rounds, which naturally is about 10 lower on the standard AP and only 5 lower on the heat compared to the 105. Or should I say, it's not 10 on the standard AP, it's about 7 in it, but you get the point. 60mm penetration on the HE as well is 530 alpha. Now, if you get the chance to go after 4005s and artillery and stuff, that 530 alpha on the HE can be lovely, and the DPM goes through the roof. And it can, again, shred very, very quickly with that. 1,000 meters a second shell velocity on the standard AP, and the heat rounds is okay. It's bang average, but it's enough that you don't have to give a massive amount of lead, but you still do have to give a good amount of lead at distance to be able to hit your targets. But there is no real difference between the two rounds, so you don't feel any slowness in those shell velocities. So here we are in this third replay on Empire... No. Great Wall. Great Wall. We're on Great Wall. And on Great Wall, it's been a bit of a funky matchup. They hadn't got much on our 1-2 line, so I decided to come through the middle of the map. Why? Because I could go pressure whatever was camping here at F8, and then I could try and push up behind the guys at C0 and give a bit of distraction. But it's not quite worked out like that, because there was 2 tanks here, which was a bit awkward, but we've managed to eliminate the ISU 152, and we've got the Earthshaker in front of us as well. The thing that's been a pain is Mr. Tortoise here. Mr. Tortoise is in a very awkward position because he keeps managing to get himself unspotted, and also he's making it a bit awkward for us to be able to get the shots in to be able to penetrate him and get rid of him. And it means he's also covering the ISU and the Earthshaker, but with the ISU being gone, that's fine. But I know he's stock, which means he fires very quickly, but he's got lower alpha, so he's not going to track me very easily, so I'm quite happy to keep pushing the tempo on this Earthshaker, because I know when he hits me, he's not going to hit me for 400, he's going to hit me for 280. Realistically. He's either going to hit me for 280 or 220, which is not much at all. So I'm happy to risk the shots from the Tortoise to get rid of that Earthshaker and get rid of Mr. E50, who is now pushing in. Because disaster has struck, and that is that they've won that northern section, and there is nothing left opposing them. Which means we're now in a very, very awkward situation, and probably in for our death. They're also going to be in a position where they can cap as well soon, which is not good. So we've put the E50 down to a one-shot. Hopefully I'll be able to reload in time to be able to get the shot in. We take a hit from the Tortoise. Poor decision to shoot there. We fail aim into the floor. We should have aimed it properly or just waited. Go for the shot into the side of that E50 to shut him down this time, though. But again, sadly, the Tortoise managed to get a shot into us. I thought he might go for the heavy tank below him, but he did manage to get another shot in, which puts us down to a one-shot for him, which, again, makes it very, very awkward for the situation we are in. But I'm starting to think I need to get back towards the cap, because they have all come off that hill. They've gone down the A-line. They are going to be in our cap area, which means I've got to move. I can't stay here, and especially if they decide to push at C4 anyway and outspot me, they'll get easy shots into my side and rear, which means I am vulnerable there. But we end up finding the Contracarro Mark 1 there, or the Contracarro 1 Mark 2. We get one shot into his roof, got the heat round loaded, so it goes through his roof again, but we get an eye for an eye. Oh, pain. He gets a shot in, shuts us down, we finish him off. We finish with 5 kills, 6.2k damage, the first class, the high caliber, with that eye for an eye medal with 1,037 base XP on a loss. Sad time with a really nice total there for the M6Y on Great Wall. But, yeah, it is what it is. We just got in a very awkward situation. We lost that northern flank, and it meant that we were basically trapped and screwed in that position. It wasn't going to go well. But now we're on to the fourth and final replay of this video. And we're here with the M6Y fully upgraded on steppies, on steps. And on steps, what I'm going to do is push this 890 line, because I don't really want to go hull down brawling with other heavy tanks. What I want to do is try and cash out some of the mediums, use my pretty damn good DPM to good effect, and just try and support my medium tanks where I can, and use also my hull down capacity on these ridge lines. So we see the Murat, who's gone very, very aggressive. We put a shot into his rear for 398, and I do prefer this 120mm gun just because that 420 Alpha is lovely at tier 9. The Murat has gone very aggressively into our Chisel. He's managed to ram him. He's now down to a point where he's going to be a one-shot because he's got hit by the other guy on the right. And we finish off the Murat there, who was very, very aggressive, and that was never realistically going to go well. So we risked it for a biscuit there, crossing that open gap. That was very risky because the 4005 could have shut us down very easily. But we are now in a position where I can go and shoot the guys like the heavy tank, the medium tanks, and the tank destroyers. Ignore me just admiring that bat chat. That bat chat looks so good with that camo. I don't know I can't remember which camo it is, but it looks so good. I was just admiring another tank, you know. It is what it is. I was distracted, you know. I was like Neo in that training program when he sees the woman in the red dress and he gets distracted and the agent's there to put a bullet in his head, you know. Distractions. That bat chat was just a distraction, all right. But I digress. This is randomness anyway. We're up to 1,552 damage with 86 assistance. With the 4005 falling back to the position at A6, we're going to move forward. We're going to use the opportunity, the fact that he has moved back, and the fact that we've won this flank quite handily, to push up. The 261's running away. It'd be nice to get rid of that piggy, but we really need to help our friends with the MBTB and the other guys. The shot derps and goes above him there, which is a sad, sad time. But again, it's the slightly more derpy nature of this 120mm gun compared to the 105. The 105 will hit more shots on the move a little bit easier than this gun, because the gun does bloom out that little bit more, and it's a little bit more inaccurate. But there we go. So we've put a shot into the side of the turret of the 4005. Mr. Waffle Panzer IV is up on top of the ridgeline, and boobly pups. Ha! He said boob! Sorry. It is what it is. When it's there, you got to say it. So, we get some shots into the Waffle Panzer IV. I'm really hoping to break his engine, which is something that always happens with the Waffle Panzer IV. If you shoot it in the upper plate or in that drive wheel, you're likely to break his engine as well, which keeps him pinned, which we did the first time round, but the second time round it didn't do it. We just penned him. So we're seeing the heavy tanks in the distance. We can actually get shots into the rear of the TNH TVZ-51 and the E5. So I decided to ignore the 430U and just get shots into them, because we bounced an awkward shot a minute ago into that 430U. We see where the shell tracer comes from the artillery. We try a cheeky blind fire, but it doesn't go anywhere near. And the 430U gets finished off by the Batchat 25T. So we're going to go over the RBRT, the shot into Mr. Waffle Panzer IV, finishing him off. We also have shots into the side of Mr. E5, waiting for the reload. Oh, and he just pulls back as we fire at the front of him, and it misses that guy, sadly for us there, but hey-ho. Just looking for the pixel shot on the 261, and of course it goes in. Because why not? And that's, again, the accuracy of the gun. It's still pretty accurate, to be fair. Now we're reloaded, aiming the shot up on the side of the turret of the E5, and he goes boom! Because Mr. Ruthless says hi with 183mm of pain. And, well, 183mm of pain is not good. And the E75 finishes off the TNH TVZ51, and we finish the game with a really nice total there for the M6Y, with the epic victory. Come top of the team with 2 kills, 4.7k damage, 1701 base XP, with that 1089 assistance damage with the first class. Really nice game there for the M6Y, which, like I say, is a very, very good tank. It's very, very enjoyable to play and grind through. I really love this tier 9 tank, to be fair, and I really hope that it's not a case of I play the tier 9 tank, love it, and hit the tier 10 and go, oh, you know? So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!